Doing better with that, or is it? Because I think last week you said when she's on no leash, she's much better.
Yeah, like she still gets them a little bit confused, but when she's off leash, it's not quite. Like we played fetch, and I had her run back and go into downs and sits, and like she does it.
Okay.
I don't know. Like sometimes she'll sit, and sometimes she'll down.
Is this when you're playing fetch, or are you talking about just like other times you practice?
When we're playing fetch.
You're playing fetch? Okay. And then when you're working with her, do you find like maybe towards the end is she downing more? Or is she still like either way confused?
I don't know. It's just
Because sometimes like, because I had another client of mine who was doing the same thing. He was practicing while he was playing fetch. And he said at the end the dog would always down. And I was like, because the dog's tired.
yeah.
You know, because that definitely plays a factor. And are you talking about just with the sits and downs or with the emergency sits and the emergency downs?
The emergency ones.
Okay. If you want to make things easier both for you and Linnie, you can just like focus on the downs. The downs tend to be the ones, like the most common command that people use. It makes it, goldfish there, makes it easier for Linnie because it's really just one answer. Now, if you really want to press the obedience aspect of it, of just like testing her concept of the command stuff, then I would say, you would just keep practicing, going between the two. If you're seeing she's having, she's struggling between differentiating, then I might make that its own session. And you can even use food as well to incentivize a bit more. And then rewarding the times when she does the correct command and not rewarding when she does the incorrect one and just using the remote to go into position. But either way, like there's no right or wrong. It's just your personal preference on how you want to approach her training.
Yeah.
Okay. Questions? Is there anything particular you'd like to work on?
It's just mainly like the most important to me is like the off leash and making sure she comes when called.
Okay.
And so that's the thing we're just still working on because it's not always automatic with her.
Okay. What do you see?
Well, there was a kid on a razor. And she did those little.
Oh, it's like a scooter?
Yeah, which I don't know, when it's a kid it seems like that much more high value. So she'll like head off and then I have to call her back.
Okay.
And so it's just those things, making sure that that's not something that she's gonna want to go after.
Sure.
It's still up there in her mind.
What's your number?
I think we were in the 80s
Okay.
at that time.
And then what happened?
She did come back.
But it took a bit?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I would do, what we can do today, it's gonna create a problem though, is if you're trying to drill like the immediate, like when I call you return, is I start just coming in at a higher number and practicing outside of the problem to get that down pack first.
Yeah.
And then like anytime that like clients have had to, like I had that actually happen to a client here. She was playing fetch in the park, and like her dog was human reactive. And it was doing great, but when the dog went for the ball, and it looked up and it saw there was like two girls walking,
Yeah.
it just took off.
Yeah.
Right. So she had to go to 127, and then once she hit 127, the dog came back right away.
Yeah, it's like when she's very happy and sort of distract or happy and play that her obedience level, like then she sees someone running by, she sort of
Just goes.
Chance, yeah.
Okay. How far do you let her get away from you?
Probably to that tree if we're in sort of a more secluded area.
Okay. And then when she goes from that like kind of playful to distracted mode, is she about that distance of you?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you done anything like preventatively?
I don't think so.
So like, if Linnie's away from you and she sees the person and she starts to get distracted, like when do you kick in with like the Linnie come or the tapping?
I think when I see her
Already
mind
going?
sort of, yeah.
Okay. So I would be proactive. When it comes to dogs, prevention or being proactive, being a step ahead is always the easiest approach. Is if I'm playing with Linnie, and then I see like she looks that way and there's kids right there, I'd already tap to like tell her don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Okay, and I wouldn't actually call her, because if you called Linnie from like the distraction, and then when you say break, she can very easily go back to the distraction, right? So what I'm telling her instead with just a tap is going, ignore that, and then she'll see her shift her body language, and then she'll probably come over here.
Yeah.
So you prevented her from like getting more distracted, but you're proactive about it as well. And there's prevention and intervention. Prevention is that, of course. Intervention would be Linnie's already taking off, and now I need her to return. Okay. What's the highest you've had to go for the collar?
I've probably been in the 90s.
In the 90s? Okay. And when you go that high, was it for like a recall thing as well?
Yeah.
Okay. How many taps before she responds?
That time I think it was just one.
Just the one? Okay. And then the other time when you were at the 80s?
Well, that was like, I started out probably 60s.
By the time she responded, it was 80s? Gotcha. Okay. So I would assume that when you're in that setting, where you're anticipating there may be kids or something that might come out of nowhere, is I'm already preset at 95. Okay? So this way you're not wasting time trying to get to that number. So it's a balance of being proactive and a balance of like already being there, so you're not losing seconds with that dial up. Okay? And also when you practice with her, so are you doing like completely off leash now?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you go to the park, she's off leash, you've moved past like the long leash stuff. Gotcha. What I would do for controlled context, because whenever I want to experiment with something, I always take a step back just in case, is I go back to the long leash and then let Linnie be free and go to 95, 100, Linnie comes, boom, right, at that higher number.
Okay.
So I'm building the urgency, again, outside of the problem,
Yeah.
so that she's thinking, oh wow, like now someone called is 100,
Yeah.
right? That should we see that again, one, you'd already be preemptively up on the numbers already, but at the same time, I've already kind of built it into her that when I call you, it's going to be a higher number. Okay, and also like so that in case if she for whatever reason feels the full power of 95, because she does have that thicker coat, is I'm not wanting her to freak out and then also run off, right? So I'm worried. I'm just doing that to prove things a bit. Like no matter what number you feel this collar at, you always have to return. And what I actually suggest to clients is I'll tell them after you practice, which you practice quite a bit in terms of length of time, is I go on the long leash and I might let it drag and I'll max out the collar and I won't say anything. And I'll just be near the end of the leash and then just out of nowhere with no words, I'll just tap it on the 100 a couple of times to see what the dog does. Just because 127 is the max, right? So if the dog freaks out, then they might try to run away. So I can step on the leash and I keep it at 127 and I just step on the leash until they return. And then I praise them, but I don't say anything other than like I don't say come or anything like that. I just praise and they go break and I ignore them. Okay? Because in case of an emergency, so you've been as high as 90s, and like I said earlier, I had my client have to go to 127 when the dog took off after the two girls, is you're going to be up there. Okay? And if we do it outside of, or if we do it within a controlled context, like you can kind of, you have an idea of like, because some dogs, 127, they just come right back. So then it's like, okay, cool, like I'm not worried about you getting confused. But other dogs feel 127 and they want to run away. So then I go, okay, no, not a big deal because I have them on that long leash that I can work them through it. But I work them through it on 127. I don't go down lower, okay? So they have to learn to think through that pressure. And then this way, when should an emergency happen, if I have to go to 127, I've already done it. The dog is familiar with it. And more than likely, we're going to get that return. Okay, so when it comes to dog handling or being a dog owner, it's not just like training the dog, it's also of course training the human. Me being a dog trainer, I'm very aware of stuff. I'm always aware of my surroundings, off-leash dogs, people walking, joggers, hikers, and all that stuff. And that puts me a step ahead. So if I ever see anything and I'm like, nah, it doesn't look like a good idea, I can already adjust the dog. Whereas most people tend to wait and they go, I hope nothing happens, and instead I go, nah, we're not going to let that happen or let that even get near close to happening. Okay? Any questions about that? Alrighty. So did you want to work on the recall but using a higher power or just tightening up her obedience?
Maybe just to review the obedience and then a recall.
Okay. Do you want to use the long leash? Okay. All right, so go ahead and just show me out of the obedience, because we covered sit, stay, down, come, place, and heel. On any of those commands, do you have a question on them? All right. So let's go ahead. We'll do just the long leash dragging for the heel. And what's your number currently?
I'm at 70.
You're at 70? Okay.
How do you want to do that?
So here, because you can say heel and just start walking, right? So if you want to position yourself, that's fine. Or do this. Turn to your right. Yep, and just say heel. Forward, tap. Tap, tap. There, good. So one thing is when you're doing, this here is good, okay? Is when you're doing the off leash or long leash heel, we always want to see the dog move into the handler, okay? So tap, tap forward. There you go. Good. And I like how quickly she responded to the taps, okay? That speed of response is very important. Going to slow to a stop. Good. Yeah. So with the heel, you can position yourself to Linnie. She just needs to be on your left. Where she's facing actually doesn't matter. So like if Linnie, yeah. Yep, wait a moment, good. If Linnie is facing, for instance, this way, right? You would be here to her, right? Careful, she's grasping something. There you go. Fine. She would be here, right? Or, for Linnie, you could also be on this side, because then Linnie would be here, but she'd be facing that way, right? But she's still on your left, okay? So to start the heel, she doesn't need to be like sitting or anything like that. She just needs to be somewhere close to your left side, okay? Now, when you started the heel, she started to branch out to the left, and you kept forward and tap, tap, and then she came straight in like that. That's exactly what we want to see, okay? Same thing here, when that lady walked by, she got distracted, turned around, you tap, tap, she came in and was hugging right across that left leg. Those are the things that we're looking for, okay? So whenever you're walking or doing the heel with Linnie, with the long leash or whatever, any opportunity or anytime she gets away from you, always tap. When you're doing off-leash heel, it has to be tight. There's no looseness to it, okay? Because the looseness will lead to running away, okay? Let's try it again, heel. Good. Good. Going slow to a stop. That was all good. Yep. Good. Wait a moment. Good. There we go. Now, when you practice this, do you ever walk through Lincoln Park with Linnie, like off leash and a heel?
Yeah, but we'll do it in like small segments, like sort of when I get towards areas that are more busy.
Okay.
I'll have her heel and come to my side.
Gotcha.
And walk through
Okay. When you're walking with her, you want to get used to keeping your eyes up and feeling for her. So like, 'cause she kind of bumps against your leg.
Yeah.
And I think she has tags or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is listening to those tags. Because if you're stuck looking at Linnie, something could be happening here and you're not going to see it. Okay. And I see this happen with a lot of clients because when they don't have the leash, they feel weird because they can't see the dog. So then you want to use either when she's walking and bumping against you or just the sound of her tags. So I had 3 dogs. I used to walk them all off leash. So their tags sounded very specific way. So like I would hear the tags get lighter and it would be my Chihuahua peeing on a tree. You know, like I learned to hear those things and become more aware of it. So I'm gonna have you practice this heel with your turns and stuff, but keeping your eyes up and just feeling for Linnie and listening to those tags, okay? Good. Try speeding up. Good. Good. Tap. There she goes. Good. Try that right turn again. Good. Good left turn. Very good. Tap, tap. There she goes. Good. And then go ahead and walk towards me. And then slow to a stop. Yeah. Very good. All that was really good. And it's just, that's why that tightness is important. And then you just walk, because then you'll feel the rhythm of her just kind of, as she walks, just bumping into you. And it's just being aware of the her tags. So like, I like to listen to music. So if my dogs are on my left, I'll keep the earbud in the right side. And then this way it leaves my left ear open to hear for their tags and everything. Okay? But otherwise, for heel right here, all that looked really good. Very close, very tight. On the turn away, there's a little bit of space. So I use that as an opportunity to practice just to tighten her up a bit. But otherwise, like that was good. Okay? Let's go ahead and practice the stays from the heel. How's she done with that?
I mean, she's pretty good at it.
Okay. So go ahead and correct for this. Good. Add a girl. And we'll start from here. Go ahead and issue the stay there, okay? We'll ignore it for now. Now walk towards, tap, 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 tap. Good. Tap. Okay. Now, I'm not sure if you're aware, but when you step away, you're actually leading with your left leg.
Oh, okay.
And you want to lead with the right leg,
Okay.
right? Because on that one, you moved away slowly, but it was that left leg, and I don't know if you saw her kind of flinch. Okay, so each of those times when you did the stay, you do a tiny left into the right leg, and you want to lead pure right leg. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to her side. Okay, you'll put her in a quick little heel loop around. And then to the stop, that's good. Then the stay, and then right leg. There you go. Tap towards, tap, 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 tap. Good, let's go ahead and tap. Wait a moment. Let's go to 75. And step away right leg once you're ready. Turn, tap, tap. Good. Step, yep. And repeat. Tap, tap. Right. Good. And go back to her side. We're gonna go into heel into the stay again, all right? Now here, go in and stand next to Linnie, but you're gonna be on her left side facing the opposing way. And then turn so you're there you go, like that. Now heel. And forward, yep. And you'll circle around, come to a stop, and then do another stay. Good. Good. We're gonna try one more. Tap to speed her up. Good.
I don't think we can be over here.
Good. Go ahead and pop her in a down. And step away. Good. So, and we'll hold right there. So the first stay that you did, or first batch or whatever, she kept getting up, right? So all we did was bump it 5 levels, 70, 75, and then right after that, she did one more mistake, we corrected it, and after that, she didn't want to make any more mistakes, right? So just using that, you know, when it comes to consequence, like let's say, you know, I get like a $20 ticket for running a red light, like okay, whatever, 20 bucks. But then I get a $100 ticket. Obviously I don't want the $100 ticket, right? So same thing here, even though you just went up 5 levels, there was a difference in her, like her wanting to hold the position because she's like, oh, we're at a higher number now. And we saw the same thing, I think, with the downs or something a week or so ago, where she was having problems with holding it, and then all we did was bump the number, and then she started to hold the position, okay? your distractions. But here, because she's under command, that's preventative control, right? So, if you're finding like, because you've done, essentially 3 or so months, given reschedules and stuff, of practicing this stuff on a regular basis, right? And she's got a very good concept of it. Now it's a matter of, is it important enough for you to actually do it? And that's what comes down to the number, right? So if like, let's say there was dogs running around and she wanted to play with the dogs, you might have to get a higher number in order for her to go like, okay, this is more important than playing with the dogs right now. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and then go back to her side. I'm going to have you pop her into a sitting position. Good. And a girl. And then you're going to step away again. Good. So it's just shifting between, like we went from a stay to a down. You stepped away, came back, gave the sit. And I don't know if you saw when you moved, she did kind of flinch a little bit, but she held it. Okay? So little things like this, so because she's supposed to hold this position until you release her. So that it's not always sit down, break routine. That you change it up a bit by putting some duration in between it. Okay, good. Let's take a look at the emergency sits and downs during the heel. Okay. Good. Yeah, tap, keep moving, tap. Or did you put her in a sit? Sorry. Good. Now this time when you walk past her, don't say anything, okay? Just walk by her. Good, go ahead and praise her.
No.
Good, and you're gonna step away again. Left, right leg, good job. Good, and then come to her side. And you'll pause for a second. Because on the first 3 that you did you notice what was happening? I'm sorry? Correct. And then just before you were putting her into that heel, did you see what she was doing? Getting up. Okay. So she was already starting to assume when you walk by me, you're going to want me to walk with you. So making it more, I don't want to say robotic, but very clear. Careful. I'm going to have you wait before I cue. So sometimes you can walk by and say heel, and other times you can stop, praise or walk away, or stop, then go into the heel. So she doesn't assume that you're going to just, again, put her in the heel because she will pick up on that pattern. And then she's going to start prematurely breaking from the position, okay? So we're going to try that with changing up on the return, whether or not you just come by to praise and walk away, or coming by to pause for a moment, then going into the heel, or just giving into the heel as you walk past, okay? Good. Good. Yep, tap forward, keep forward. Keep forward, tap. There you go, good. Good job. Add a girl. Tap and then pivot to help. There you go. Try the pivot. There you go. You told her down, correct?
Yeah.
So go ahead and step in. And then you'll be just in front. Give the tap. Wait a moment. A little bit of hand pressure. There we go. Then step back. So what happened, you're good, is because you tapped her to keep walking, right? For that emergency set, she got confused. Then when you went into the emergency down, now she's thinking I'm supposed to follow you, right? It's normal, okay? So try that again.
Why did you throw it?
Better. Good. Good. We're gonna try it. 3 more. Right, step in, tap, tap. Wait a moment. Tap. There she goes. Almost. Almost. Add a girl, then back. Almost. All the way, Linnie. All the way. Tap. There she goes. Yep, and back away. Good girl. Good, just a couple more. Good. Right, and step in. Good. It's okay. Tap, yep, lead her back. Good job. Tap. Wait a moment. Tap. Wait a moment. Tap. Little bit of pressure. Yep. Almost. 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 There she goes. Add a girl. Add a girl, Linnie. Good. We'll try one more. Right, and then do the pivot if needed. There you go. Step in. So how's it down, right? Yep. There she goes, and away. Good. Good. So what we're gonna do here, because now we're seeing she's struggling with the downs, right? Is We'll go ahead and shorten the leash. Giving her like 4 feet of slack here. So go ahead and grab on your long leash. And then you want to, did you release her there? Okay, so then we'll correct that tip. Add a girl. Wait a moment, yep. Good. We're gonna pause for a second there. So when you practice with her, you said that it's not really any particular time within the training, but she just starts to like struggle between the two?
Yeah.
Okay. So then, do you remember that I think we did an exercise where it'll sit to down, is I would go back to that, and I would actually encourage, using treats here or food. I use cheese, hot dog, salami, pepperoni. I use the real stuff for this. Is if I say sit, she pops into the sit and I wait a moment. Good, and I feed. Then the down, and for the downs, because sometimes she like sits and then goes into it, or sometimes she does the spiral, and we want more of that immediate just stop. Okay, is I'd be selective of which ones I feed, but essentially you're feeding her for making the right decision, right, between the sit and the down. I mean, it's like 50-50. There's only a couple things that we taught her, but and this is super common for dogs between the sit and down, so I'm not, surprised by it. But we're gonna go to the, and you don't have to have treats on you, do you? No. We're gonna just go to that exercise. They call it puppy push-ups, of just going between the two commands. The only thing that we're gonna add is that when you've given like the sit to the down, is you might just do a quick little circle around, just to start moving, to make sure that she holds in that position, then return, and then we'll like pop her into a sit, then wait a moment, then a quick little walk around, keeping it close within about 3 to 4 feet, and switching between the two commands. Okay? So go ahead here and pop her into a sit. And tip. And wait a moment. Good. And then you're just going to do a quick little walk around. Good. Go in and praise her. And then give the cue the down. That was a good one. Good girl. Quick little walk around. Good. Back to her side, praise. Back into the sit. Tip. Good. Wait a moment. Add a girl. Now instead of walking around here, we're just going to wait a second. And now you're going to cue her back into the down. Add a girl. Good. Praise, praise, praise. Much better. Good girl. And you'll do a quick walk around. Good. Does she pop up on her own? Yeah, so now go ahead and tap to correct that. There you go. Good. And then, yep, tap. Tap. Wait a moment. There she goes. And praise. Good girl. Go ahead and try another walk around here. Good. So, yep. And then correct. Good job. Good. And then try another walk around. Good. Yep, praise. And wait a moment. Go ahead and cue the sit. You can already see her thinking about it, right? Now tap. Wait a moment. Yeah, wait a moment. Right, let her settle. Good. Wait. Right, tap. Good. Let her settle. Good. That's fine. Go ahead and shorten your leash a little bit. Yeah, it's good. And then you'll try a walk around. Right, good. Good. Back to her side, good, praise. Then you're gonna step away again, walk around, she should stay put. Good. Now you're gonna go back to her side, praise a bit, add a girl. You're gonna wait a moment. Go ahead and cue that down. Yep. Right, wait a moment. Wait a moment. Wait. Yep. There you go. Good. Add a girl. Praise. Good. You're going to do a walk around. Good. Praise. And another walk around. Good. And yep, praise. You're gonna good, and you're gonna wait. Now pop her in the sit. Right? Yep. Add a girl and praise. Good girl. So what we're doing here is if she's struggling between two commands, is I put them back to back. Okay? And we're adding those walkarounds to give her time to make a mistake. Because like for the down, you saw her start to like pop into the sit, and it was early. So then, like let's say you're doing your emergency commands and you see she's struggling with the down, I'd give her maybe 2 to 3 tries, and if it's like this isn't getting better, then I take a step back and I practice something like this, okay? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to the heels, to the emergency commands, to see if she does the downs any better, okay? If she's still struggling, like again, we'll give her 2 to 3 attempts. If it still seems like she's not getting it, we take a step back. You would work on stuff like this. The biggest thing is getting the down to be as instant as possible. That's why I recommend the food. So like that one that you did where you downed her and she went down fairly quickly, I would definitely want to reward that. So she goes, oh wow, and I would reward a bit, like I'd give her 3. You know, so she goes, oh wow, if I do this like that quick, I get more, okay? Almost. It's okay. Right, wait, yep. Good. And then use the tap. And then wait. Tap. Tap. Good. Good. Right, and then pivot if you need to. There you go. Good. And step in. Right, wait. I'm going to try one more. Tap. We're going to try 2 more.
Yeah.
Yep. Tap. There you go. Good. We're gonna try one more. All right, let me see here. Because I can see where she's struggling. I'll take it here. All right. Yep. Is if we see her struggling with the down part, down. Because I want to keep her away from me. And not repeat. There, it's the girl. Instead of down. Girl. 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 Tap. 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 Girl. Tap. 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 Girl. So she has to hold this position, even with the praise. I'm at 43 now. Yep. Down. And girl. Tap. Girl. Tap, 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 tap. Down. Girl. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna accept that because she went straight down. Yeah. Good. Yep. Tap, tap. Tap. Down. Good. So it's not happening much. So you saw like it for that one bit, it took me like a minute to 2 minutes, and she kept spiraling and like not knowing what to do. Is you have to, and I wasn't repeating, is you have to make her teach her to figure it out. Because once she figures it out, it's a lot faster. So now when I tap her, she's just going more so into a straight down. So if she makes a mistake and I tap, even though she moved in the beginning, she laid straight down again. I'm going to accept that. As opposed to like resetting back over here, because I just wanted her to get, so when you were saying down and you would tap her, she didn't know what to do. So here, now she should start going back into the position, okay? Girl. Tap. Girl. Yep. Yep. Down. tap. See how it's straight now? Good. So it has to be that easy for her in order to get it to be functional, okay? Just leave it now. And then, you know, praising her, forcing the break, and then making her figure it out. Now, like, it was literally just one tap, and so it's going back into the position. So we'll try that again with you, okay? So you put her into heel. Now turn, tap, tap. It's okay. Now step away. That's good. Praise. Let's try it a few more times. A few more times. Tap, tap. Yep. Then, yeah, there you go. Good job. Let's try 3 more. Add a girl. Right, hold your movement, tap. Then step away. That's good. Good. Tap, 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 then back. Yep. What's your number now?
65.
Let's go to 75 again. Okay, go ahead. Tap. There she goes. Good girl.
Down.
Tap. Hold. Yep. Tap. Wait a moment. Then back. Good. You had a girl. Let's try 3 more. Yep, tap. Good, and then away. What we're gonna do for this next one is, remember when we started, we had the leash and you'd use the leash to like help her put the brakes on? We're gonna try that again, okay? Right, good. There you go. Up, almost. You almost got it. There you go. Good. There, good. Let's try 3 more. Tap, good, forward, good. Good, couple more.
Down.
Better. Good. Now we'll try it without the leash. Or without the leash dragon. Tap forward. Good. Right? You got it. There you go. Good. Better. Better. Good. Right? Good. Good job. Good. 3 more. There you go. Good. 2 more. Good. On this last one, I'll have you try to keep going straight. Okay, without the pivot. Tap the speeder up. There she goes. Good. So we have to take a couple steps back, but this isn't out the ordinary. Stuff like this happens all the time. So if she's ever struggling with something, if it's differentiating between the sit and the down, you want to do them back to back. Here, so she's having trouble downing. So I said, okay, let's focus on the down and make it more quick. And then when I handed it to her, it didn't immediately transfer, but it was easier. And then we took steps back, incorporate the leash, go back to the pivot, and then finally by the end it went down or it didn't take it. Because for her, she's got to figure all this stuff out with simply the remote. Okay, so it's complicated. But that's why I took the time to make her figure it out there. Typically people would reset or repeat the command or other stuff, and I, as much as possible, just use the remote to get her to do it, and then she's like, oh, okay. And then after that, I was able to get her to do it very quickly, okay? So, questions about any of this here? So, in terms of practicing and stuff, I think you're really good. You're very close, okay? I think it's just knowing ahead of time other things going on would attract Linnie. Be at 95 or at that higher number. Being proactive. Oh, I see her looking at those, skateboarders before she even engages. Right there. Okay? If you want to do the proofing that I mentioned about having it maxed out, having it long, having it dragging, being nearby, no words. Okay. I only do this with the recall. Okay, because that's the most important command of come back to me, right? Everything else I don't worry about. The only command I do that with is the recall. And if she doesn't come to you, she starts moving away, you step on that leash, and don't say anything. Use the remote with that maxed out power to make the return. Right? It's gonna suck, but once you return, it's like you know, okay, we've done this in controlled context. If I should ever need to do this, we should be covered. Okay. It should make your recall after that even better. So that actually had that happen to a client I was with there's like a playground like Cannon Drive or something. There's like this little bowl, and people take the dogs off the stairs. And her dog took off and ran into the group of dogs and just left us. And she was trying to get the dog back, so I took the remote and I went to like 90 or something. And you literally saw the dog jump out in the middle of the group, like yipping, hit the ground, and then ran full speed out of the group. And after that, she said she raised the car. Okay, so 90 for him was 127 in that moment. But you should see that once you do that, your recall overall should do better. Because she's thinking like, I know where this is going. Okay. When it comes to practicing the emergency commands, like the downs and stuff, if you see her struggling, take steps back. We taught this like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think it was, and she's progressed very quickly. Now it's just, you're gonna make steps forward, steps back, practice some more, going through that. And it's just that constant rehearsing and application. And then I definitely recommend on a somewhat consistent basis, whether a couple times a week, that you just kind of go through your drills, so it keeps things applicable. Okay, but just because you teach it and then if you leave it alone for a few months, and all of a sudden you need it, like, you know, you're wanting it to be functional, you get that with just regular use. Okay? Any questions? Good job. Well, today her heel is looking really good. I know her recall is good from what we've seen. And those moments that you're talking about, simple stuff, just a number. Stationary control looks good. The mistakes earlier about breaking position, little tweak on the number, that was good. Just again, just rehearsing that down, getting it to be a little bit more speed. Okay? Anything else? Well, if you have any questions, you always have my technical support. So, like, let's say a couple of months, you shoot me an email. I'm more than happy to help. I had somebody from a few years ago text me a couple of days ago with a question. But you always have my technical support. Do practice even in the fall and winter because you do get lazier in the winter time. And then it's a great time to get a lot of emails like Jesse the dog is listening. And it's usually because they didn't practice before because the numbers too low. If you ever need a refresher, you're more than welcome to do a simple class, right? A refresher. You don't have to do a program to show you that anything. But otherwise, I think you've done a really good job. Okay? Anything else?